We are joined by Nariman Behravesh. Ranks, in fact, as one of Bloomberg's best overall forecasters. Nariman, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Melissa.
So we're looking at this new data on weekly jobless claims. We have the new data this morning on the deficit, on the trade deficit. Are you a glass half full kind of guy today when you look at the data?
Very much so. And it's not just today's data, but as we were talking, the employment numbers from last week and just the whole string of numbers in the last 10 days or so have been looking a little bit better. And I think what that's done is made people a little less fearful of this double dip scenario we've all been talking about for a while now. So I think those fears are diminishing. They're not gone away, but they're diminishing a little bit.
What type of environment would we have right now that would have you at the point saying that the fears are not diminishing, that they're still very real?
Well, certainly if the job claims numbers were rising, it'd be a problem. If we continue to see this import surge, which was very fluky in June, that obviously reversed itself in July and gave us these good numbers. If consumer confidence continued to erode, which it hasn't, it's actually started to bump up a little bit. All of these, I think, if they'd gone in the opposite direction, would have me worried.
It's Dominic here. Really quickly, we've had, these are a couple good points, but we've had just a huge slew of bad economic data. Even yesterday, the Fed coming out and saying that consumers are basically spending less on credit, right? And of course, Meredith Whitney of Citigroup fame there saying that she could see possibly 80,000 financial jobs cut worldwide in the next 18 months. How much good news do you need to kind of weigh out all the bad news, Nariman?
It's a good question. I think what you have to look at is the sort of the backdrop. We're in the aftermath of a financial crisis, and in those situations, almost inevitably, you're going to get subpar growth. So we're in a period where we've got 1.5–2% growth. We were sort of led to a slightly false sense of security when we got that bump up from fiscal stimulus and inventory rebuilding, but we're back down to that sort of sluggish 1.5–2% growth rate. That's where we are. I don't see it falling much lower than that. But it's not going to be great either. Let's be honest.
Nariman, I want to circle back to the jobs report that was out this morning. Because of the Labor Day holiday, there were 9 states that didn't file claims. So how accurate, how real are those numbers that we're all talking about?
Well, Melissa, as you know, these numbers the weekly numbers are very volatile. And what you really look for is a trend. And even when you do that, the 4-week trend has been going downward, and that's a very good sign. So you're right to be a little skeptical about the weekly number, but the 4-week trend was also down, which is good.
But you also have to factor in those that are on unemployment and those that are in the period where they're getting extended unemployment, not for just 26 weeks, but 99 weeks.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right about that. And one of the hallmarks of this downturn and recovery, of course, is that surge in long-term unemployment that we have, which in the long run is not good for the U.S. economy. So that's a problem. I don't mean to sound too rosy about the outlook, but you're absolutely right. That is a big problem out there.
Hey, Nariman, it's Dominic back again here. One of the other things we talked about today was this whole idea of the trade balance number being a little bit better than expected, right? This idea of a manufacturing-type recovery or a manufacturing-led recovery that we have in this country. Could this be evidence that we're actually kind of producing goods and selling them outside the country? Is that a good thing for our economy?
Oh, there's no question about that. We need to do that. It is one of the sources of strength for the U.S. Good news is, the dollar's fairly competitive right now. We've got strong growth in a lot of emerging markets. And guess what? We're selling into those markets. So that's very good news. We need that right now.
We need that. But does anything need to change with the way we've been doing business? What needs to change, I should say, with the way we've been doing business and the infrastructure to become more focused on manufacturing here at home?
Well, again, as you know, there's a lot we can do with a tax code, with with the infrastructure investments, which seem to be coming along at a sort of a glacial pace. There's a lot we could be doing, and unfortunately, we really haven't been. That's part of the problem here.